In this video, we are talking about 5 chord progressions that every beginner songwriter should know. Let's talk about it. All right, so the first chord progression that you should know is a 1-5-6-4 chord progression, which is probably the most common chord progression and is certainly the most commonly made fun of chord progression. If you know that song by Axis of Awesome, where it's making fun of how every pop song is built off of the same chord progression, that's this chord progression. In the context of the key of C major, a 1-5-6-4 chord progression would be a C major, G major, A minor, F major chord progression. And that's because, just at a high level, 1-5-6-4 is referring to the numbers of the scale degrees that the chords are built off of. So in C major, the first scale degree is C. So 1 and then 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. So C, G, and then 6 goes to A, and then 4, so back down 2 to F. That's where we get 1-5-6-4. In the context of G major, it would be G, because again, 1, and then move up 5 to D major, and then E minor, up 1 to 6, and then C major, 4. This is most important to know because if there's any chord progression to know and be familiar with, it probably is this one, but also it can be great for a descending bass line because you can have 1, 5, 6, and then 4, where you sort of get the 8th scale degree or the 1st scale degree, then down 1, and then down 1 again, and then you skip to not just down by 1 again, but down by 2, so if you ever hear that bass line, which is pretty common, that very often goes along with a 1-5-6-4 chord progression, as well as the iconic or, which of course are also very commonly utilized because those are the roots of the chords. A second chord progression to know is a 1-6-5-4, which is really just a slight alteration on the 1-5-6-4. Or more specifically, you could see this as the descending version of the 1-5-6-4, because you could see this as descending every time. We start at the 1, and then we could see it as descending down to the 6, so it's like 8 to 6, and then 5, and then 4. So we would get in C major, A minor, G major, and then F major. Now, probably as you can hear, this is great for that sort of descending bass line of 8 or 1-6-5-4. A third chord progression that every beginner songwriter should know is another sort of alteration on the 1-5-6-4. This one is actually a 1-4-6-5. Now you can see this as a sort of more ending focused version of the 1-5-6-4 because it specifically seems to have in mind that a 5 chord transitions really well and powerfully to a 1 chord. And the way this is set up, we actually start with a 1 chord and then the 5 chord and then the 6 chord and then the 5 chord, which transitions really well back into the beginning of our chord progression, which that's usually how chord progressions work, right? It's the same progression of chords and you do it over and over again. So this flows really well because the final chord of the chord progression flows really well back into the first chord of the chord progression. Now in C major, this chord progression would be a C major, an F major, an A minor, a G major, and then if we were to repeat, we go back to that 1, which is a C major. Another important chord progression to know is the 1-4-5-4, which is maybe the most popular of all the all major chord progressions, because all our chord progressions so far involve 1 minor chord, the minor 6th chord. This one is just the 3 major chords that are occurring in every major key, the 1, the 4, and the 5. So in C major, this would be a C major, F major, G major, F major, and then back to C major. That would be the chord progression. C major, F major, G major, F major, back to C major to start the chord progression all over again. And then a 5th chord progression to know is maybe the most popular or one of the most popular chord progressions that actually leads with a minor chord. And that is the 6-4-1-5 chord progression. In the key of C major, this would be an A minor chord followed by an F major chord and then a C major chord and then a G major chord. So those are 5 chord progressions every beginner songwriter should certainly know. And of course, that means if you're a more experienced songwriter, I think they're good ones to know and have in your back pocket as well. And even though I don't think we should be limited to stock chord progressions like these, especially as we get farther along in our songwriting, this is a great place to start. And if you have a firm grasp of these 5 chord progressions, you're off to a good start. Now, if you want to be able to take these numbers that we have and apply them to any key, so you want to be able to figure out what a 1, 5, 6, 4 in the context of G major is versus what it would be in E major, what those chords actually are, check out my free keys cheat sheet. It breaks down every single key, all the notes in every key, and all the main chords in every key. Or seen another way, it breaks down, here's your 1 chord, 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, 6 chord, and 7 chord in every key. So be sure to check that out. It's on songwritertheory.com/keys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Talk to you in the next one.